206. What's that all about? Number 206. Welcome, everybody. It's really nice to be here. And I can't believe we've done 205 classes of yoga together. That's beautiful, right? That's beautiful. It might be your first time and you jumped in on 206. You were like, do you know what? Probably this is my time. Any time, right, is a good time to start a yoga practice. I remember reading this thing, and it said the most important thing. It said the important thing is to start, and then the most important thing is to carry on. I like that. How much of that stuff in our lives is relevant to us? You know, when we start something this year, I'm gonna do or this or that, and then a few months later, we're like, "How's that going?" And it's hard, isn't it, to find that consistency? I'm learning some very basic Turkish at the moment, and I'm using this course called Pimsla, which is like call and repeat. And I'd started doing it in lockdown, and then inevitably I stopped doing it. And I was thinking, if I would have carried on, then 5 years later, not that I would have been fluent in Turkish or anything, I would have been a lot better than I am now. And I'm on lesson number 24 or something like that, and I'm getting to that really sticky point, right, where it's quite difficult. There's lots of grammar involved. And I've not done it for a couple of days. So, you know, that's a good example. And yoga can be like that as well, right? It's something that we think we ought to do. But ultimately, what we want to try and find is a practice that is enriching and nourishing. And you know what? That we enjoy it. We don't have to enjoy every single moment of it. And there's going to be some things you gravitate towards, some things that you don't. But ultimately, there needs to be a level of enjoyment and a level of fulfillment from it, right? So personally, what do I get from yoga? Well, I get to move my body, and that's really important as we get older and we get tighter, and, you know, the body tightens up and it's a bit harder to get out of bed, and we do that groaning thing a lot, right? When we're walking around, oh, get off the settee. Oh. Maybe that's just me. But so we need to kind of stay as loose as we can. But the beautiful thing about yoga, it builds strength and all of that flexibility and balance, right? All the stuff that I've done around balance the last few months. But then also it's good for this whole thing, right? The brain, we can catastrophize and we can get into places where, you know, we're going down a rabbit hole. So yoga can be that beautiful reset. And if it is just a stretch for you guys, then brilliant. Thank you for coming to stretch with me. And if it's more about, you know, that idea that yoga is the calming of the fluctuations of the mind, or as the wise yogis used to say, the chitta vritti, which is the kind of the whirlpooling of the mind, right? There's always the analogy, isn't there, of kind of like a monkey that's been stung by a scorpion jumping around a bar. I don't know why it's in a bar. I don't know why the monkey was in a bar and there was a scorpion in a bar. But anyway, but that's how our brains can be sometimes, right? We're kind of all over the place. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do some nice flow, but we're going to do something a little bit different. And I don't think we've done a lot of this stuff before. In fact, we probably haven't done this flow before. A lot of it will be done on the floor. You know, I do a chair yoga class every week as well. It's not chair yoga. There is still going to be a fair amount of movement through the lower limbs, a lot of movement through the lower limbs, but we're going to resist the temptation to stand too much. We might stand for a little bit, but we're going to resist that temptation to stand too much. So there you go. There's nearly 4 minutes of me babbling on. And it's given the opportunity for Irene to say hi, and Jackie did as well. And did anyone else say hello? No, they didn't. Right. So if I sit here for a little bit longer until someone says hello, should I give it 10 seconds? It's 2:33. It's 2:34. Someone's going to say hello, aren't they? Maybe that's all there is online today. Okay. So have a blanket. Have a blanket because it might be good for your knees. And then at the end, we're going to do something where we lift our legs in the air. So a cushion would be really good. I've got loads of cushions on my settee here. So I'll probably at that point grab a couple of cushions to support underneath my spine. So that might be quite a nice thing to do as well. So take that with you. And then we're going to go and start in child's pose. And to give you a little bit of a warning, we'll be in child's pose for a little bit of time, a few minutes. Okay, so a blanket under your knees might be really useful. Let me just check everything looks okay on the camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this lovely Mexican blanket and I'm going to bring it across my mat, and then I'm going to settle back into a child's pose and a kind of wide knee, but as wide as feels good. Maybe it's just where the knees are just a little bit wider than the hips. Take your time, get in there, adjust your clothing, maybe just kind of settle down. And then what I'll do, once I've found the shape, you can always have your head on your hands, or you can support your head directly on the floor. Let's see if you can settle in. And then just the magnificence, I said that last week as well, right? The beauty of your breath. Just feel into your body. You might kind of move around a little bit here. That's okay. You're just letting the body land and settle. And as your head softens down onto your hands or directly onto your mat, really notice how your breath feels. Notice those kind of touch points on your mat. Maybe it's the knees or the shins or the tops of the feet. And just for a moment, let everything kind of settle and reset. And no worries. Let all your worries go. Take a couple more rounds of breath. We're going to come back to child's pose a lot today. For now, just take a couple more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, bring yourself onto all fours. So you come onto this tabletop position. If you're using a blanket like I am, maybe keep the blanket where it is. And then move through some cat-cow. So inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head, lift your heart, and then exhale round your spine. Inhale, forward, and exhale as you round. And just get into this nice generous movement of the spine. Inhaling, exhaling as you go. And then eventually inhale, come back to center. Give your legs a little stretch out. So stretch back into your right leg first and press into the toes, and maybe just rock forwards and backwards just a little bit. And then you can do that on the other side. Beautiful. And then come back into child's pose. So split your knees wide, and wide as feels good. Come into your child's pose. My watch is just telling me that I've had a stressful period. I'll have to kind of admit that I was attaching something to a wall a minute ago, and it was quite stressful. So it's nice that I'm doing some yoga with you guys here. From here, stay where you are, or if you wanted to, you can kind of claw into the fingers and lift your arms up, and maybe just use your arms, activate around the armpits, the shoulders, and you can walk your hands maybe over to the right. So maybe just turn onto the left temple and walk your hands over to the right. Feel that deep stretch down the left-hand side of the body. What happens if you kind of move your left fingertips around a little bit? You can press into the left fingertips a little more. Maybe just kind of roll that shoulder open a little more, and you get a little bit more sensation. And then when you're ready, you can come back to center, and then just swap that out to the other side, over to the left, and maybe claw into the right fingertips. Lift that right arm a little more. Breathe in gently here. A couple more rounds of breath in your own time. And then when you're ready, slowly come all the way back to center. And then bring yourself back to all fours. And then from here, we'll do a little bit of thread the needle. So from here, take an inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Sorry, your right arm up. And then as you exhale, thread your right arm through your left. And then you could be on your left fingertips, the left fingertips right in the top left corner of your mat.
and you thread that right arm through the left. So you're on the back of the right hand, and you just breathe it out here, inhaling, exhaling. Keeping that left shoulder lifted somewhat. You can always do this and lift the left arm up, and you can place it on your back and kind of roll the shoulder open a little more. It's your choice where you go with it. But wherever you were, take one more round of breath. And a full exhale. Bring the left hand back into the left corner of your mat if it wasn't there. Bring yourself back to all fours. Move through 3 rounds of cat-cow. Just kind of moving the spine backwards and forwards. And then when you're ready, from here, what we're going to do, we're going to do that on the other side. So inhale the left arm up, stretch the left arm, and then exhale, thread the left arm through the right. And then this is where I start, right? My right hand is quite high, right? I'm right on the fingers. I begin to lengthen this left arm threaded underneath, and then, you know, I'm rolling the right shoulder open. I can lift this arm up, just be t-shirt a little bit, and then maybe place, you know, the hand on the back, whatever works. You can roll this right shoulder open a little more. Make sure your head feels supported. Wherever you are, take a couple more rounds of breath. And then eventually, right hand will be back. You'll come back to all fours. And then same thing again, just move through a few rounds of cat-cow. Keep your spine moving. And just have a quick look down at your knees and make sure that your knees are lined up with your hips. Okay, all right. From here, what I'd like you to do is have a look at your middle finger on both hands. Okay, so your middle finger, excuse me, I keep moving my hands because my eyes are a bit sore from hay fever. So what you're going to do is you're going to move your hands, or the palm of your hand, the back of your hand here, to where this middle finger is. So I guess an easy way to say that is one hand width forward. So you're in a longer plank. So usually our plank is sort of like fingers stacked underneath the shoulders. Kind of walk it, and don't underestimate the size of your hand, because your hand is quite big, whoever we are. Okay, if they're not here, it's going to be quite hard for you to do the next movement. So take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to lower down onto the floor. So try and do this nice and slowly. Keep the elbows tucked in. See how I come down with control, and then arrive onto your belly, and then keep the fingertips just rooted into your mat, right onto the fingertips. Take an inhale, and then come into cobra pose with the elbows bent a little bit. Don't come up too far. Exhale, bring the forehead down, and then push yourself back into child's pose. So just the knees if you need to. I always do. And that's going to be a little flow. So inhale, come back to your plank. Make sure your hands are forward where they normally would be. Exhale to lower. Keep the elbows tracking backwards and coming all the way down. Try and do that with control. Inhale into cobra. And then exhale, push back into child's pose. Breathe with the movement. Inhale, come into that slightly longer all fours position. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, into a little baby cobra. Exhale, into downward, child's pose, not downward facing dog. Don't go there. All right, 2 more. Inhale, come forward. Here we are in tabletop. Exhale, to lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. 1 more round of breath. Inhale, tabletop. Good work, everyone. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. And then just pause in child's pose just for a few breaths. And have the hands face forward. Breathe it out. Don't feel like you need to be super still here. Couple more rounds of breath. And then from here, walk your hands back towards your knees, and then press yourself back onto all fours. I'm going to remove my blanket now, but if you need that cushion or you like that cushioning, then feel free to keep the blanket where it is, you know. All right, free up your spine a little, kind of do some nice big hip circles, kind of circle the hips out a few times one way, a few times the other. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to step our foot in between our hands quite a lot. And we're going to do some variations on the flows we've done already. So the movement, just to practice, is, for example, right foot. What I do is I claw into my right fingers, right, give myself some room, and then I step my right foot forward. And then eventually we'll kind of inhale into a variation of lunges, okay? So you can practice that for a little bit. You know, we've done some of this work in the past before. Maybe practice your left foot, claw into your fingers, give yourself a little bit more room and lift the left foot forward, and then you can bring it back, and then maybe do that with the right foot. You've also got this little trick you can do where if the foot gets to say here, just hold on to the ankle and just bump it up. We're kind of looking for the ankle and the knee to be lined up eventually, but you can do that movement. So you kind of come, you're like, oh, I'm not quite there, bump it up, and then we can come into our lunge sequence. So you've got loads of time to do that. If you use blocks, I haven't got any blocks, I'm just looking if I've got any spares. No, they're in my camper van. So what you can do is you can have the blocks here, and so you kind of bring the floor away from you, and it gives you a little bit more room. Okay, so from this all fours position, what we're going to do, we're going to take a deep inhale and take a full exhale. When you're ready, step that right foot in between the hands. You're softening the left knee down, and then inhale. First of all, just come with the hands on the right thigh and just find your alignment. So you're sinking into your hips on an exhale. As you inhale, you're raising the spine. Exhale, sink the hips. But the foot and the knee doesn't move. It's kind of all the movements coming from the torso, right? So we're sinking deeply into the hips. If you feel like you want to, you can inhale, sweep the arms up, and then you find yourself in this low lunge. Okay, movement we do quite a lot. Maybe open the arms all the way open to the right hand side. So you feel that's this expansion. Keep the lunge in the right knee, press into the top of the back foot. Nice. Take a deep inhale. Take a full exhale. Inhale, bring the arms all the way back up. As you exhale, bring the hands down, step back to that all fours position, lower down, keep the elbows down, tracking backwards. Inhale into your cobra. Exhale into your child's pose. Nice. Keep moving with the breath. Inhale back to all fours. And then we're going to step the left foot forward. Make some room if you need to. Nice and slowly. Find the alignment. Left knee, left ankle lined up. And then you just come up slowly. Basket grip over the left thigh. And just play around with this, right? Just have a little sink into the hips. In and out. Whatever works for you. Breathe in deeply. Nice. And then from here, maybe sweep the arms all the way up. Breathe it out. Beautiful. When you're ready, frame the left foot, step back to that all fours position. When the next exhale comes, lower down onto your belly. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Nice. Now just moving, one movement, one breath. Inhale, come back to this tabletop position. Step the right foot forward. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step back onto this all fours. Exhale to lower. Inhale, go into your cobra. And then exhale into your child's pose. Keep moving. Keep the hands where they are. Inhale, come back to all fours. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Inhale, this time again, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands down. Step back to that all fours position again. Exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, this time into embryo pose. That's a closed knee child's pose. So the knees are nearer together. Maybe soften the forehead down. Maybe place it on something. And then bring the hands so the palms are face up. And we just breathe in very deeply here. Inhaling, exhaling as you go. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring the hands back forward and then inhale, bring yourself back to all fours. If you want to give the legs a good stretch out, kind of move the legs around a lot here so far, but I just think this movement's really nice. It's kind of lengthening, pressing into the full length of the legs. Beautiful, really nice. And then we'll carry on. We'll just keep building this. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a nice little sequence again. So when you're ready, from all fours, maybe walk the hands a little bit further forward, give yourself some room. And this time what we're going to do, we're going to step the left foot forward. So left foot first. All right, inhale, sweep the arms up. Find yourself in a low lunge. And then what you're going to do, we're going to come into a warrior two variation. So bring the hands down, walk the hands over to the right-hand side of your mat, and then you're going to spin the right leg out. So you're just using it to stand on. So you see I've just spun this right leg to the side of my mat. Okay, on an inhale, come up, bring the hands onto the hips. This left foot, is pointing forward, so the toes are pointing forward. Knee in line with the ankle. Maybe I just need to shuffle it back a little, make your adjustments. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, and then you're in this warrior two variation. You can look down the left arm, breathe it out. Take one more round of breath, nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands to frame the left foot and then step back into this all fours position. Exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, you find yourself on all fours. Other side, inhale, right foot forward. Take an exhale here just to prepare yourself, and then inhale, bring the arms all the way up. You find yourself in that lovely low lunge position. Next exhale, bring the hands down, walk them over to the left, and then as you do that, a little kickstand of the left leg, and then you've got this generous bend in the right foot. So the left knee, the left leg just spun around to the right. Set yourself here, and then inhale, sweep the arms up, and then find yourself in your warrior two. Breathe it out. Deep inhales. Full exhales. One more like that. Deep inhale. And then a full exhale. Bring the hands down again. You're going to bring that leg back to center, and then the right leg will meet it. You're back in all fours. Nice. Walk the hands forward a little bit. Exhale to lower. Inhale into cobra. Exhale into child's pose. 3 breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, inhale, come back to center. Let's just keep moving now. Stay with it. Okay, same thing again. Inhale, left leg forward. Generous bend in the left leg. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Beautiful. Exhale, bring the hands down and then walk them over to the right side of your mat. Spin that right foot over towards the left side of your mat, and then inhale back into your warrior two. Nice. This time, soften the forearm, left forearm down onto the left knee. Left palm is up, and then inhale, and then swoop this right arm by the right ear. So this is like a seated, not a seated, kind of a low version of side angle pose. Breathe it out. Inhaling, exhaling. Roll the right shoulder open. Nice. Inhale, come back into your warrior two. Drop the back arm, flip the front palm, and then reverse your warrior. Breathe here. Find that space down the left side of your body. One more round of breath. Deep inhale. And then exhale, hands are down. You're going to step back when you're ready onto that all fours position, tabletop. Exhale to lower. Inhale into cobra. Maybe you lengthen the arms a little more now, you're warmed up. Exhale, back into child's pose. Keep moving, inhale, back to center. Exhale, step the right foot through. Inhale, come back into your low lunge. Nice. Exhale, bring the hands down, walk them over to the left. As you do that, spin that left leg out, so it's to the right of your mat. You just set yourself, right? So I look down at my knee and my ankle on this right leg, and then I check that I'm supported on this left leg, and then eventually I'll inhale my arms up, and then I find myself in my version of Warrior 2. All right, extended side angle. Right palm up, bring the right arm down, inhale, left arm up, and then swoop it over by the ear and breathe it out here. Roll the left shoulder open, inhaling and exhaling. Nice, one more round like that. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring the arms all the way back to center. As you exhale, drop the back arm, flip the front palm and reverse your warrior. Couple of rounds of breath. Nice full even breathing here. When you're ready, exhale, frame the right foot, spin the left foot back, and then step back to your all fours. Realign your knees if you need to. I needed to there. Exhale to lower. Inhale into cobra. Exhale into a closed knee child's pose again. And just breathe it out here. Let the breath settle down. And then from here, what we're going to do, we're going to just very gently bring ourselves back to all fours. We're going to come into melting heart pose. So the knees and the hips stay nice and high. You walk the hands much further forward now. So the arms are stretched out. So you're in this kind of position. And then you soften your forehead probably down onto the floor. Don't let the forehead float. If you need to bring the forehead onto something like a blanket, go for it. And then breathe it out here. You see my forearms are lifted. Now you feel this in the upper and the mid spine more than anything, but just breathe that space into your practice, into your shoulders, your upper back, kind of like the thoracic spine area, an area that we neglect quite a lot. Just a couple more rounds of breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders and then find yourself back on all fours. All right, one more thing we'll do here. And we'll do a little bit of seating, a little bit of lying, and then we'll be about there. So same thing again, we're going to step the left foot forward, make some room if you need to, and then inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Nice. From here, with the right arm, stretch it forward and then place the right hand on the outer edge of the left knee. Just take a breath here just to find a little twist. Nice deep inhale. And then a full exhale. Bring the hands into prayer now. So the hands are in prayer. And then this right elbow, the outer edge of the left knee. So you're doing this nice low twisting lunge. Look at that top elbow, the left elbow. See if you can stack it on the bottom elbow, the right elbow. And you just, hands are in prayer, twisting to the side. Take one more round of breath. Nice deep inhale. And then a full exhale. Bring the hands down. Step the left foot back onto all fours. Exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale into child's pose. Let's finish it all off. Inhale back to center. Step the right foot through. Nice. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then this time, left hand, just a little prep over towards the right knee. Keep the right arm lifted. And then bring the hands together in prayer. And then think about this left elbow, outer edge of the right knee. So the movement is a twist already. And then I try and place the outer edge of that left elbow on the outer edge of my right knee. And then you can see better probably from this side how my elbows are stacked. Every inhale, find a little bit of length. Every exhale, a little bit more of a twist. Nice work. You can kind of work with a relaxed neck, or you can gaze at one spot. Take one more round of breath, nice deep inhale, and then a full exhale. Final time we'll do this, hands down, step back onto all fours. As you exhale, lower that slightly longer version of all fours pose, plank. Inhale into cobra, exhale into your final downward facing dog. Make it comfortable. And then we'll stay here just for a few breaths, a little bit longer. You can bring the hands back like this towards the knees and down by the feet, or you can have the arms stretched out. It's really your choice. And then from here, bring the hands back towards the knees, press yourself up, and then come to sit on your bottom with your legs out. So you're just going to find the seated position and then stretch your legs out in front of you. Nice. So this is Dandasana, staff pose. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring your left foot in, okay? And you want kind of, you probably can't see. Let me just move to the side. So why don't I do it this way around so you can see more about what I'm doing. And then we're just going to fold forward here. So don't expect too much. What you can do when you fold forward is you can kind of place a blanket underneath your bottom. So it kind of just rotates my pelvis forward just a little bit. But I'm just going to bring the hands where they land. So you inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, just bring them down just to frame the right leg. You can have a little bend in the right leg. And what I do is I push the inside of this left arm into the inside of my left knee. Kind of just creates a little action there that just helps with this forward fold. Relax the shoulders as much as you can. And then as you exhale, walk the hands back. Nice. And then just swap that out. So you maybe just give the legs a little shake from side to side. And then you'll bring your left leg along. And then you bring your right leg in. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, just fold inside or around either side of that left leg. And you can see this right arm, I'm kind of got this dual action of pushing my knee into my arm and arm into my knee. A little bend in my knee and a little rotation forward into my pelvis. A couple more rounds of breath, just stretching out the hamstrings here, a little bit of a forward rotation. And then walk the hands back, nice. And then bring the soles of the feet together. And maybe you hold onto the feet and open the feet out a little in this cobbler pose, or you can just kind of free the hips up by just rocking a little side to side. Don't feel like you have to be still here. What we're going to do is we're going to transition onto our backs. And this is the part where we're going to bring our legs up in the air. So what I would suggest you do is you have some cushions or some pillows or some blankets. If you don't have any of that stuff, you can bring your legs up against a wall if you have a free wall. But I'm going to demonstrate with a bolster, but cushions will do exactly the same job. So come to lie down on your backs. I'm just going to move very gently and efficiently, hopefully, to grab my bolster. You know, if you're lucky enough to have one of these things, then have it down your mat, and you know, you bring your knees kind of over it. If you want to bring your cushions under here or your pillows, kind of bring it underneath the knees, and then place the soles of the feet on the floor. Come to lie down on your mat again, and then what you're going to do is you're going to press into your feet and lift your hips, and then place your bolster or your pillows and blankets, whatever prop you've got, underneath your butt cheeks, I guess is the way to describe it. I always say your sacrum, and then people say, where's your sacrum, Dave? Well, it's the bottom of your spine. It's not on any part of your vertebrae. It's kind of the top of the buttocks. Is buttocks always the right word to say in yoga? I'm not sure, but you know where I mean anyway. From here, what we're going to do, we're going to raise the legs up. So maybe bend into the knees and bring the knees in towards your belly, and then begin to lengthen your legs up. And you can just sway the legs a little side to side. They call this seagrass pose. It's like the seagrass that you find in the sea, funnily enough, and it kind of, maybe the more you relax you are, the more you sway into your legs. But it's a nice gentle inversion. Really nice way to begin to wind the practice right down and get all of the benefits of an inversion like this. From here, take a couple more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, really slowly, very slowly, begin to bend the knees in. Squeeze the knees in towards your belly. Bring the soles of your feet down onto the floor. And then from here, we'll find ourselves in Savasana. So you can just roll the bolster underneath your knees. Let the feet fall open. If you've got those blankets or pillows, maybe you support the body out under your knees with those. And see if you can settle into a nice, nourishing Savasana just for a few minutes. I'll be quiet from here. And then from here, just very gently and slowly, just begin to bring a little bit of movement back into your body, maybe your fingers and your toes, ankles and your wrists. Maybe a nice natural yawn or a sigh, and the movements might become a little bigger. And then if you're using a cushion, blanket, a pillow, a bolster, maybe place your feet onto your props. Squeeze your knees in. And then just roll over onto one side just to support your head out. And there's no rush here, just Let everything settle. And then when you're ready, press into your top hand just to unravel and to come back to a seated position. And then find yourself in a comfortable seated position for you. And just spend a couple of balancing breaths, maybe closing the eyes or keeping your eyes closed, and noticing the effects of your practice today. And notice how it feels, notice the changes, maybe reflect on doing something a little different. And then bringing your hands to your heart center, pressing your thumbs into your sternum. Just have a wholehearted bow, wishing yourself well and wishing everybody else well. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. Thank you very much. It's really nice to spend time with you. Yeah, there's a little bit there and it says spacetobreathecollective.co.uk. That's a lot of us run this not-for-profit yoga and wellness space in the centre of Leicester. Do you know what we did a couple of months ago? We took this radical act of halving our yoga prices just because we wanted more people to be able to practice yoga. So it's been amazing since then. It was amazing anyway. So if you know anyone in Leicester, £30 a month, unlimited yoga, come along. Check out the guys at the Virtual Village Hall. I'm sure you already do, but remember all the content is available on so many different platforms. The updates are available on so many different platforms. The schedule every week, every day is out there. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I think I've got it all. Yeah, so check those guys out. And there's surveys from time to time as well. So take part in the Virtual Village Hall surveys. You guys get to shape the service, right? And you suggest and you work together with the lovely guys there about what services you bring. So we're all part of it together, right? And it's a real pleasure to teach to you wherever you practice today. I feel really chilled out. Anyway, thank you. Next week, we've got chair yoga. I think it's on Monday, but we're definitely back here on Thursday at 2:30. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'll see you all soon. Bye now.